Welcome to This Explainer. Look, I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're looking at something that is honestly practically a superpower. If you've ever wanted the ultimate cheat code for curating a high-status visual narrative without, completely destroying your bank account or drowning in credit card debt, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're breaking down the blueprint for an elite, bulletproof 3-watch collection, and we're doing the whole shebang for under $500 total.
Okay, let's dive right into this. 7. You have exactly 7 seconds to make a first impression when you walk into a room. Think about that for a second. Before you've even cleared your throat to speak a single word, your posture, the fit of your clothes, and that piece of engineered metal sitting on your wrist, they've already told an entire story about who you are. This is the 7-second rule of wealth. And honestly, this is exactly where so many guys just completely miss the mark. We live in a world that is, frankly, obsessed with superficial flexes. People fall into this incredibly dangerous trap where they rack up massive credit card debt to buy some luxury piece they genuinely cannot afford just to impress people they probably don't even like. The alternative, though, quiet wealth, true wealth, is calculated. It's the incredibly satisfying art of looking like $1 million while actually keeping your capital deployed in assets that work for you. Every time you wear a plastic smartwatch to a serious networking event or some cheap throwaway fashion watch on a date, you are actively leaking social capital. So let's patch that leak right now. Section 1. The Everyday Weapon. The Seiko 5 Sports. Every solid collection absolutely needs a daily driver. You need a watch that immediately communicates competency, reliability, and excellent taste. For that, we turn to a brand packing well over a century of horological heritage. And coming in at roughly $250, the Seiko 5 Sports Automatic, specifically the SRPD series, isn't just a basic timekeeper. You are getting an absolute mechanical marvel on your wrist for shockingly little cash.
Now, what's really interesting here are the micro details. When you see this thing in person, the second hand doesn't tick, it sweeps. And it sweeps because it's driven entirely by the kinetic energy of your own life. No batteries here, no planned obsolescence. It sends a very powerful, quiet cue to anyone who notices. It says you appreciate longevity, you respect engineering, and you value true craftsmanship. Plus, it's incredibly versatile. You can pop off that steel bracelet, throw on a nice leather strap, and transition seamlessly from a 9 a.m. strategy meeting straight to a late-night dinner. And I do have to point this out, just to set the record straight. No, it will not sync with your iPhone. It's not going to vibrate to tell you that you've reached 10,000 steps today. But let's be totally honest with ourselves here. You really don't need your wrist buzzing every single time your ex likes a photo on Instagram anyway, right? You need a watch with a pure mechanical purpose. Next up, Section 2, the Boardroom Commander, the Orient Bambino. So while a thick steel diver is an incredible daily weapon, wearing it to a high-stakes corporate interview or a black tie event, that's a major psychological misstep. When the dress code elevates, your wrist absolutely must follow. But check this out, $150. This watch single-handedly dismantles the pervasive myth that you need to spend thousands of dollars to look highly sophisticated. It's just not true. The Bambino is just a masterpiece of design. It has this minimalist, ultra-thin profile that slides perfectly under a French cuff shirt. But the real star of the show is that stunning domed mineral crystal. It catches the ambient light in a room in a way that perfectly mimics vintage Swiss watches that cost literally 10 times the price. The dial is incredibly clean and uncluttered. Wearing a piece like this projects an aura of maturity and an executive presence well beyond your years. It shows you understand the rules of the game. You aren't trying too hard, but you haven't missed a single detail either. I absolutely love this thought because it's just so spot on. It looks so undeniably high-end that your boss might genuinely look across the boardroom table, wonder if you come from some secret old money family, and actually think twice before denying your next raise. And you get all of that genuine authority for the price of a couple of decent steak dinners. Moving on to Section 3, the modern disruptor, the G-Shock Casio. Because let's face it, real life isn't always lived in a tailored suit. It happens outdoors, at the gym, or traveling totally off the grid. If you take a delicate leather masterpiece into those environments, you're gonna ruin it. For the chaotic side of life, we need elite utility. Coming in at a truly ridiculous $99, this is the ultimate weekend flex. It took the horology world by storm and is currently the go-to weekend choice for everyone from Silicon Valley tech founders to elite professional athletes.
I mean, why do actual billionaires wear a $99 digital watch? It's all about the stark contrasts. The silhouette here is a brilliant homage to iconic luxury sports watches that retail for $40,000. But unlike those delicate luxury pieces, this is built with a carbon core guard structure. It is incredibly lightweight, stealthy, and virtually indestructible. It tells the world that while you absolutely respect tradition and design, you're also highly practical, intensely active, and prepared for absolutely anything. And let's be real, if you accidentally drop a $40,000 watch down a flight of stairs, you're making a tearful phone call to your insurance agent. If you drop the Casio wake down the stairs, you pick it up, you wipe off the dust, and you just keep moving towards your goals. It is elite, worry-free utility. Let's move to section 4 and see how this all builds together, the hidden math of status. So, zooming out from the micro watch specs to the macro financial strategy for a second. Breaking down the grand strategy, you have the Seiko Fi as your everyday asset at $250, you have the Ornate Bambino as your boardroom commander at $150, and the G-Shock as your modern disruptor at $99. For an investment of just $499, you have built an entire, comprehensive, horological wardrobe. You've completely eliminated the fear of ever being underdressed, and you have established a highly authoritative personal brand. And this brilliantly illustrates the real difference between consumers and curators. The average peer in your demographic will easily blow $500 on a single weekend out or on some depreciating tech gadget, a smart device that is basically guaranteed to be obsolete and sitting in a junk drawer in 12 months. But by allocating that exact same capital into a curated mechanical watch collection, you gain timeless utility, you secure daily signaling power that actively works for you every single day for years to come. So the crucial point here is the art of allocation. This is what we're really getting at today. True luxury isn't about draining your bank account to look rich right now. It's about making calculated, intelligent choices today so that you can invest heavily in the visual and financial value of your future self. Managing your resources this effectively is the actual psychological foundation of a truly wealthy lifestyle. When you look down at your wrist and you see that mechanical engine ticking away, let it serve as an everyday psychological anchor. Let it be a constant physical reminder that time is your most valuable asset, and every single second must be leveraged to build your empire. It keeps you focused, it keeps you grounded, and yeah, it keeps you looking exceptionally sharp while you do it. But before we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. Curating your style, looking the part, that is incredibly powerful, for sure, but it is only 10% of the equation. The exact same mathematical mindset, the same compounding logic we use to optimize the visual value of these 3 watches, that is the invisible cheat code the top 1% uses for their actual bank accounts. So my question to you is this. Are you ready to use this exact same math to build a literal fortune? Think about how you deploy your capital next. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and keep leveraging your time.